Army of Thieves, the brand new Netflix original film, which is a prequel to the film earlier this year, Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder. This film stars and is directed by Matthias Schweighöfer. I'm sorry if I said that. I'm trying my best to say his name. Natalia Manuel, Ruby O'Thee, Stuart Martin, and Guz Khan. And tells a story about, again, Geeter back from around like a week or two before the events of the Army of the Dead movie. Dieter is an up-and-coming, cracker, a safe cracker, but he's really running an original, his normal life that is not really an ordinary life, as they say. And then Natalia Emanuel plays Gwen, who then recruits Dieter to be on this team of 5 who are trying to pull off multiple heists in multiple days. The film is 2 hours and 10 minutes and is TV matured. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Mac Talks Movies. We're talking Army of Thieves. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, box office breakdown show, movie rankings every single week. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell. Also, please comment down below. First, if you have seen this movie, let me know. Do you like this better than Army of the Dead? Have you seen Army of the Dead leading into this film? Did that help your enjoyment of this film even more? Also, if you actually just watched this film for the first time and then you're going to watch Army of the Dead, let me know your thoughts on this being a good introduction into this new Netflix franchise. Also, if you've not seen this film, let me know. Have you seen Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead from earlier this year? And are you going to check it out before checking out this film? Also, please like the video. That's the best way to support this channel. Let's talk Army of Thieves. So I'm actually one of the, seems like the minority of people now. I really liked Army of the Dead. It's in my top 20 of the year. I really liked that movie. It was a really unique zombie film that I thought, while it was too long, I didn't really care for all of the characters. I still love the nuance of the way the zombies were handled, and the actual action scenes were really fun. And I thought Dieter was actually one of the fun characters that I really cared about in the movie. Now, I didn't really emotionally care about him, but he was easily one of the most fun aspects of the entire movie. And then it was interesting that they did a prequel for his character. Now, I am going to give a mini spoiler alert because, again, this is a prequel to an already movie. So I do want to say a spoiler. If you have not seen Army of the Dead, you do not need to watch Army of the Dead before this film. You don't need to see it because this is obviously a prequel, and you'll see how they connect it to Army of the Dead. But here's a spoiler alert, really quick. Dieter, it seems, is dead at the end of Army of the Dead. He gets trapped in that vault, and we'll see if there wasn't a shot of him getting killed, but it seemed like he was dead. So it was interesting that he was the first one out of that group to get a spinoff because he was dead, and they gave him a prequel movie that he is also directing. The actor, again, Matthias Schweighöfer. Sorry, again, I'm awful at his name. I'm really, really sorry. He also directed this film. Zack Snyder has a story credit, and he produced the film, but he did not direct this film. And I heard some of the reports for that, or not reports, some of the interviews given by some of these actors were saying that Snyder really wasn't on set day to day. He was doing additional photography for Army of the Dead, so he couldn't be as hands-on with this film as probably he wanted to. But this is, again, the actor who plays Dieter is the director as well. But let's talk about them. I think I'm going to have a lot, again, just like Army did, a lot more fun with this movie than most people, because, again, this movie does have a lot of cliches. I'll get to that in just a sec, but I just had a shockingly really fun time watching this movie, really from start to finish. And that really does start with Dieter, who, again, is a really fun character, just like the first film. But the first film, he was mainly just in there to be comic relief in this group of very serious people going on this heist in Las Vegas. This film, yes, he's definitely comedy. His screams are really funny. Some of the sayings, there's a joke about him gulping. That's a really funny joke that never got old for me throughout the entire film. But overall, he has a lot of heart. You really understand where he comes from, this ordinary life, and and they also give a lot of background on why these particular vaults have a lot of history to it, and why Dieter is so fascinated by being a part of these heists because of the vaults themselves, which I thought was a really interesting way to make this film a bit more unique than most heist films. This really, again, difference between this and Army of the Dead is that this movie has basically no zombies. There are zombies in the film, because, again, that's not a spoiler at all for Army of the Dead. During this film, the Las Vegas zombie apocalypse has already begun. You see a couple newsreels of Dieter watching the zombie apocalypse in Las Vegas, which obviously where the Army of the Dead movie takes place. And you get a really good tie-in on why that vault in Army of the Dead is so crucial as well to this movie as well. I just thought was a really nice tie-in. And there are zombies that he dreams about. Like there's like 2 or 3 dream sequences where he's dreamed by getting beat up by zombies. But the physical zombies are not in the present time interacting with these characters in the film. It's very much just a heist film. The zombies are very much sidelined in this movie because they're not happening. This movie, I think, takes place in Prague and France, so that the zombies are just in the United States at the moment of this movie before it gets worldwide as it is in the Army of the Dead. But Dieter's a really fun character who has a lot of heart in this movie, and that heart comes with a really great performance from Natalia Emanuel, who plays Gwen in this movie. By far, they're the 2 by far best characters in the entire film. They have a really great, sweet relationship while they're both would be friends for each other, and you kind of get their friendship. You got why it could be romantic for each other. And Natalia Emanuel, who I know, of course, I'm not a Game of Thrones person, haven't watched it. I know a lot of people love her in that, but I just obviously Ramsey and the Fast and Furious franchise for a movie role. I think this might be my favorite movie performance for her. She's really good in this movie. She's a badass. She's not just the tech person like she is in the Fast and Furious film. She's actually gets down and dirty in this movie, but also is the one who recruits Dieter. And Dieter, and the way that she recruits him is really, really fascinating. There's a great scene at the beginning where there's a vault opening competition or something, and that's where she kind of begins to interact with him. It's actually a really fun opening scene, and Gwen is a really likable leader of this group because she really is the leader. I know the plot synopsis is telling you that she is the leader. The team's already assembled, and they just need a safecracker, and that's where Dieter gets involved. But they start building this bond. Dieter actually listens to everything Gwen says. And Gwen's really fascinated in Dieter's love of being the safecracker and all the history behind it. It's a really great relationship that does work throughout the entire film. It's clearly the heart of the movie, and they're both fantastic in the movie. What I also liked was that it just didn't feel like a Zack Snyder film. I thought that I was kind of nervous if it would just be now in the Zack Snyder. Now, it still feels like it is in the same universe as Army of the Dead, but it just doesn't feel like a Zack Snyder film, which I give a lot of credit to, again, our main actor here who did the direction as well. It's a really well-directed movie. Obviously, the locations on location in Prague and France are really, really beautiful to look at. But the way he directed action, the way he showed what Dieter is, what himself basically is doing with the safe cracking inside the vault, like how it's all working. That was really interesting as well. And there's some just really good shots. The film has a lot of energy. And for a movie that is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, I was really never bored throughout the 2 hours and 10 minutes. The action scenes are well done when they're there. And the safe cracking aspects of the movie are way more interesting than the actual heist itself. The actual heist itself kind of is a normal heist you've seen in a billion movies like this. When you actually get to the safe cracking aspect of it with Dieter, it becomes a totally different heist film, which I thought was really, really good as well. So obviously the Hans Zimmer score, who also does the score for this movie, is also really good. And let's get, as I said, the big positive is the relationship between Dieter and Gwen that just really works for this movie. Let's move into my negatives. And that for me is that this movie is filled with a lot of cliche heists. As I said, the actual heists are not that interesting whatsoever. They're just cliche, stereotypical heist film situations, distractions, action scenes, plan Bs, twists and turns. You kind of see everything kind of coming because you've seen this type of movie before. It just gets more amplified as interesting once Dieter starts working on the vaults. Up until that point, when they get in and do all that stuff, it's just a normal heist. I'm just kind of watching through the motion. It's not bad. It's just you've seen it a billion times. I also think they should have done a much better job as an audience member caring for the entire team. As I said, you really just care about Dieter and Gwen. They try to give a lot of background to the Brad character, who's played by Stuart Martin, and his relationship with Gwen. He's known Gwen for, I think, 11 years, what the movie said, and they have this relationship. But I just found him to be really underwhelming. You've seen that character in a bunch of team-up films where he kind of is jealous that Dieter's kind of into Gwen and is talking closely with Gwen, and he kind of gets jealous because he's, again, friends with Gwen for most of their lives. The Karina character felt just the tech person, nothing really to her. And then the worst one was obviously was Rolf, played by Gus Kahn. Not his fault. He was actually fun to watch, but his character was completely underwritten for him to be the driver for the heist group. So overall, the entire heist team just never clicked to me. I was just mainly just focusing on Gwen and Dieter, and the rest of the team just felt very less interesting. As I said, the story, because it's a prequel, you kind of know what direction the movie will kind of end on. There's a big sequence at the end where you're on edge of your seat wondering what decision will be made. Another big issue I have with the movie, it's probably my second major issue behind the actual cliches of the movie and the rest of the team, and that's that there's this whole Interpol subplot, because of course you need some police or cop, or again Interpol in this movie, who chase after these characters, because we need some physical threat to these characters as they're doing all of these heists across different countries. And it just felt useless, just a character just to bring tension to the movie, because his background, he has some connection to Gwen and Brad, but he just wants to go after these people because he knows, and his connection to everyone. The Interpol subplots were by far the worst aspects of the movie. It was like the only time when we just got like a 5-minute sequence of just Interpol talking about what they're going to do. That really pulls me out of the movie. And then once we go back into to Gwen and Dieter, I get right back into the energy of it. Whenever Interpol's on screen just themselves, it really is boring and really sucks the energy out of the movie when they are on screen. It was a big misfire not having a personal person going after them. They tried their hardest, but this Interpol main person just seemed really dumb at times and too far behind our characters. It just didn't seem right how everyone was just okay doing this plan while there's a zombie apocalypse going on. So for me, just the Interpol subplot for me just didn't work. But overall, I really did have a fun time with Army of Thieves. I would highly recommend it. If you like or dislike Army of Dead, I would still watch it. If you've seen Army of Dead, you definitely want to keep checking out this franchise again. They're doing an Army of the Dead sequel that will be coming out. They're doing a TV series as well. So this is the first thing, that main movie that they've done. And I think I'm going to have more fun with this movie than most people. So I'm going to give Army of Thieves a 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 70. I'll give it a 70%. Let's go 70% for Army of Thieves. I really did have a fun time watching this movie from start to finish. The actual safe cracking was really fascinating, and they dove really deep into it. And I was really swept up in the chemistry between our two main characters, Gwen and Dieter, that really took me through the movie. Two great performances from our director, Matthias, and Natalia Emanuel. Both were really great in the movie. So that's my thoughts on Army of Thieves. Again, I do prefer Army of Dead over Army of Thieves, but again, I gave Army of Dead a 4, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. So they're very good movies to me that I'm happy to continue to watch this franchise as it continues on. So that's my thoughts on Army of Thieves. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me. I know this might be a divisive movie just like Army of the Dead. I can't wait to see your thoughts on this movie. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video. This is the last movie I'm seeing in the month of October. So on Monday, which will be November 1st, I'm going to give you guys my full, or Sunday, October 31st, or Friday, Monday, November 1st. I'll give you my entire ranking of all of the movies that I saw in the month of October. A lot of them this month. Busy month for me watching movies. 2 already this week on Netflix. So busy week. And then also my box office breakdown show will be on Monday as well. I've got other reviews coming out. 3 TV shows I'm currently watching. Those reviews will be coming out once those shows conclude. So much happening. Also, I'm seeing Eternals on Thursday night, November 4th. So that review will be coming Thursday night here on this YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. And that's going to have the next week here on this channel. So please, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys soon.